Yes, lovely people, welcome back to the channel. It is the big game on Sunday, Arsenal versus Liverpool, a top of the table clash. So it's only right we recruited one of the biggest names in the game, Turkish, who represents the Big Six show and his own channel. We're going to be doing a combined 11. I reckon it might get a little heated. I'm out of this one. I'm just going to sit back and be the fly on the wall. Sit back, relax. Let's get into it. First and foremost, manners have to be done. Turkish, welcome to the channel, bro. How are you doing?
Yeah, you said you're out of this one. Yeah, you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm gonna hold you to that in this show. Trust me. But I'm good. I'm good.
I'm out. It's been a while since we've had you on the channel. Obviously, Turkish. We tried to recruit you as a Liverpool player and as a Liverpool fan. Didn't quite work out the first time. We're gonna just let things, marinate.
No, it's in process. It's in process.
Yeah,
it's ongoing.
Always on the back burner.
It's a long negotiation, isn't it? Yeah.
You lot only ever bring me on this channel when you lot are above me, above Arsenal. Have you got that? That's the only time the last 2 years, I'm not getting no calls, no messages. I don't even know what's going on. WhatsApp. Drifty's got no display pic. Has he deleted my number? I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, you're above us.
We're not going to do the fairy tales. Come on, Turkey.
No, it's lovely having you back on the channel. Love to see the success you're having as well, bro. Really, really nice to see.
Likewise, brothers.
Appreciate you. Matt, how you guys doing? Big game on Sunday. What are we saying?
Massive game, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it, though. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure Turkish is as well in it. But it's a game. 100%. There's a lot going on in this game, innit? There's a lot going on. And I think
there's even a little part of me that's thinking, like, I'm here because there's my brother Turkish, but I'm thinking, should I jump up with you and we let Matt and Turkish do this, and then we can can be the umpires? You're the linesman on one side, I'm the linesman on the other side. You know
Hey,
I'm just. It's up to you guys. I'm easy.
Yeah. If you're gonna do that, yes, calm.
Let's do it.
I'll try my hardest.
Is that what's happening?
2 pence.
You've changed a lot, you used to do 2-foot tackles in these type of shows. Now you want to be linesman. Nah.
You know what I mean? You gotta calm down at some point, bro. You gotta calm down.
No, I hear it.
Right. So let's get straight into it. Starting combined 11. Currently, Alisson Becker's out injured, so he's out of the running, and we're only going to base this on players who are currently available for the game that we know of and based on form so far this season. So it's Raya versus Kelleher. I'm going to bring it to you first, Turkish, as our guest. Who do you think should be in goal?
Listen, Kelleher has actually done pretty well having come in. I have to give him that. But Raya's probably been one of our best players this season. One of maybe 2-3. Especially early on, we can't forget some of the saves he was making in tight games, in tight moments. Wonder saves at that. In the Aston Villa game, for example, or the Brighton game as well, I think he had one. Yeah. Literally the first 3-4 game weeks, he was saving us points. So for me, Raya, this one is not much of a debate for me. I don't know how you three feel. Even though, like I said, Kelleher has done well having come in. I think Raya's kind of, with that Ramsdale chip off his shoulder, it's gone now, it's done. He has, and listen, funnily enough, he kind of had a mare on the ball last time out, so people might be watching this, but forget that one for a sec. The rest of the season so far, he has been solid. He has taken that next step, and yeah, for me, Raya's the goalie in the combined 11.
Matt, any objections?
Here's what I'm gonna say. Raya's been exceptional.
And you said this show's going to be 45 minutes. Cool.
No, bro, I didn't even say that, yeah. All I said is this, yeah. No, because Raya has been exceptional. I think if we're talking Alisson, I think it's a different debate. But obviously, we're only going with people that's available. If we're talking about availability as well, Kelleher's only just come into play this season. So if we're going of body of work this season and what Raya's shown, I would agree. I do believe, though, in my heart of hearts, though, Kelleher, call me a madman, I do think Kelleher is actually better than Raya. The only problem is we haven't seen Kelleher do it for long enough. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And here's the thing. When Alisson got injured the season before, we saw what Kelleher is about. And Kelleher is not even a number 2 goalkeeper. He really is a number 1. But I'm going to give it to Raya, like I said before, because he's made some incredible saves already this season, especially the one against, was it Ollie Watkins?
Yeah.
That double save, and don't get me wrong, Ollie Watkins really should have scored, and Raya had no right, really, but he's still done his thing. So if we're going to form this season, I will have to unfortunately concede David Raya. But overall, I still think Kelleher's better, though. But this season, Raya. So we get to Raya.
All right, so Ray is in goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's move to right back. Trent. Now, I'm not going to include Timber as of things right now because he wasn't pictured in the training video. Arteta says he might be out. So I'm going to...
Nah, Cal, he's going to play, man. He's going to play.
I think he probably will, but as of what we've been told, at the moment, he's out.
Arteta's played mind games, Cal, man. We know this, man.
I do think it's still fair to have him because he's been for us the majority, but it doesn't matter who you have. Trent is he's gonna be
okay. I mean, Matt,
yeah. I don't even need to say that. Yeah, that's.
I do think that. Listen, I do think. Listen, Trent is a generational talent, and quality wise, there's no debate. What is he? The top of assists as well for a full? No, actually, was that Robertson?
Fullback. It's him and Robbo.
I think it's him and Robbo, but he might have overtaken Robbo now by one.
Either way,
I think they might be level. You know.
Either way, the numbers are mad for a fullback, and we know his quality on the ball. I do think Ben White has shot up in the last 2 years. I think a couple seasons ago, I think Trippier was probably the best right back that season, and Ben White was just behind him. And I think last year Trent and Ben White was behind him. Now I'm not saying Ben White's better than him, but Trent, I think Ben White deserves a mention, even though he hasn't really played this season. I think in terms of the right backs in the Premier League, Trent gone. We know this already. But Ben White is up there in the next tier.
Completely agree with that.
Ben White.
Any objections? Matt Drift, all good with that?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
No,
sweet. All right. Right centre back. No Saliba available for this game because he's suspended.
Oh, we're doing suspensions too. I say no.
Anyone?
He's not available.
Is anyone available for this game, Turkish?
I didn't know that either. Still, Cal does this sometimes, Turkish.
No, I said it in the bit.
To be fair, he did say we're doing availability.
Anyone who's not available for this game is out of the running.
Okay, I missed that part. My bad. I missed that part.
Well, I plead the fifth then, as they say, or whatever you say, because I got nothing to say here, bro. What do I say?
Just put the knee and right. That's all right.
Just out of curiosity, Turkey.
Yeah.
Let's say Saliba was available for this game, and there was a debate there between him and Konate. Which way would you go and why? For this season, not necessarily who's the better player, but for this season so far.
That's when you say this season, I think Konate he's been solid, and I think Saliba hasn't been as good as he has been for us. He's had, and by that I mean he's had moments that I don't expect him to have. I think either giving the attacker a bit too much space to get the shot in, e.g. Archer, Southampton, or the red card. Listen, I put that on Trossard more than him, but he still has to make that split second decision. So some of that falls on him too. And I just think overall, Gabriel has been the better of the two for us this season. So I'd still lean to Saliba because of bias, but I know Konate and Liverpool got the best defensive record in the league this season. So as much as we banged on about that in the first few games and first few clean sheets, Liverpool have conceded 3 goals?
Yeah.
Yes. 3 goals so far this season. So if you say Konate and I'd argue it because Saliba's our boy. And if we're talking about overall who it would be, I'd say Saliba for sure. But yeah, I think Konate has kind of shot back up this season early on.
Can I play devil's advocate?
His problem is injuries, though, more than anything. We know.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is with Ibu. Because
I play devil's advocate at that, though, this is Turkish. Again, I'm going to get cussed in the comments for this because I'm sort of putting a point forward for Saliba opposed to Konate. Just to play devil's advocate, though, the 3 goals we've conceded so far this season, and it was mentioned recently, Konate has had a hand in all 3 goals that we've conceded. So as solid and as good as he's been, there has still been a few moments where you're like, Ibu could do better there. So like the goal against Nottingham Forest, again, more on Connor Bradley than him, and maybe even Gakpo, but he still turned his back on it as a centre-back. You want your centre-back to stand firm and strong. The goal against Wolves, that's him and Alisson. He has a hand in that as well. And I can't remember the 3rd goal, but I think he did have a hand in that.
It was him who played Jackson on side for the goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he has. But, yeah, this season, I do think Ibu's in there. Left centre-back, boys. Gabriel and Virgil.
I mean...
The less said, the better, I guess.
We're talking... I let Turkish go first. I let Turkish go first. Turkish, you're the home team and you're the guest. So...
Yeah. I mean, it's Virgil. We know this, but again, Gabriel deserves a mention because couple mistakes in the first few games. I think he starts seasons a bit rusty like that, but he fixes up and you know he turns it around pretty quickly. Whether it's in the 90 minutes or the next game, he's a goal scoring centre back. He's the perfect kind of profile to partner Saliba. But Van Dijk is a legend and one of the best of all time in Premier League history. And similar to Konate, he's also upped it in the first 8 games of this season, or 10, 11 in all competitions. So, yeah, Virgil for me.
Matt Drift, I'm going to ask you guys this. Do you think Gabriel's a little disrespected because Saliba is seen as like the main guy at Arsenal? Because I think there's a bit of a narrative that Gabriel can't play without Saliba and Saliba's like the one that sorts everything out. But whenever I watch Gabriel play, he does a lot of the dirty work. He's a massive threat in the opposition box. He probably wins more aerial duels defensively than Saliba as well, and probably has to do more in a game. So is there a bit of a false narrative around Gabriel?
No, I don't think so. I think everyone... No, here's what the problem is, and this
I
like,
tried Turkish, bro. I'm sorry.
All right,
Turkish doesn't fall into this bracket. And I always like when I speak to Turkish, when I speak to Potts, when I speak to James, when I speak to certain man, even Robbie, like when I speak to this, I'm like, look, when I'm saying this, I'm not talking about you because I hear you talk sensibly, but I can't ignore the loudness that is the fan base around these men. And they will spin the narrative that Gabriel was the best centre back since sliced bread. And that's where it's like, oh, you've gone too far. He's brilliant. There's no doubt about it. The last 18 to 24 months, he's definitely proved everybody wrong. I do think he has a mistake in him, but I'm not going to hold that against him. In the opposition box, I don't know how many defenders I've seen more dangerous than him in the last 20 years. Like, I'm not even going to lie. Like, he's like John Terry level of like danger when he comes up for corners. You're like, rah, make sure you've got somebody watching what he's doing and making sure you ain't got no short guy on him who can't keep an eye on him. So I rate him. But I do think that he's just overinflated in terms of like putting him in conversations with Van Dijk and stuff like that. It's like, nah, I'm not entertaining. I'm not entertaining that at all.
Not Van Dijk, 100%. But I'm looking at it now, and to be honest with you, I don't know whether Callum's done this on purpose, but if we are picking 2 centre backs, it really I'll be going Van Dijk, Gabriel. If it's the 2 we're picking, but obviously we've been given like the right centre back choices and then the left centre back choices and so on. Yeah. But I do think this season, if we're talking the top 2, I'd say it's Van Dijk and then Gabriel. Would be the 2 centre backs.
I don't know.
See, all right, so people know me. I'm a bit of an Ibu stan, so it's gonna sound a bit biased when I say it, but I do think Ibu arguably has been the second best defender in the league, only to Van Dijk, and then I'd probably put Gabriel third. Now, again, because I'm Liverpool, I'm going to say it, but at the same time, I think Ibu. I know Carl did bring up his errors, and one of them was directly led to a goal, which is kind of the equivalent of the Saliba kind of red card. It directly led to an incident. Do you know what I mean? So, but the thing is, with Ibu as well, though, Ibu has been a game changer for us because the way he's able to kind of like marshal that side, and like how Carl pointed it out, or I think it was our drift, that left-hand side for you guys is a lot busier than so your left-hand side is very busy. Our right-hand side is very busy. Because if Trent inverts, Konate has to do a lot. He has to do a lot more, in my opinion, than Van Dijk. And that's obviously because he's younger and he's probably a little bit more athletic. But I think this season, I think he's got the best like aerial duel success or whatever in Europe. That's how crazy he is. And I know Gabriel, from a defensive point of view, is probably the best in the league. Though I will say that. Like when it comes to from an attacking point of view, Gabriel is the best. I think he just is. But I just think Ibu's form right now, him and Virgil, in my opinion, are the 2 best defenders in the league, closely followed by your guys.
Yes. All right. Left back. No Calafiori available. Am I missing anyone else? Timber obviously can play there, but we still don't know what's going on with him. I actually think this is one of the harder positions to pick because if I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think Robbo and Tsimikas have really done a great job this season, personally. So I don't know how you feeling about this Turkish.
This is a stretch, though. I mean, if we're saying Calafiori, not available.
Yeah, he's
Timber
not
not
available, yeah.
available. Then you've got our two best options at left back there. Zinni ain't played. Lewis Skelly's come in and done well.
I'd say
So-
include Timber Turkish because I think he will play. If he's more likely to play than not, I think he should be allowed to be in the combined.
I would
11.
put Timber there, and I would actually start Timber left back on Sunday. But I would put
I'm
him at left.
hoping you don't do that on Sunday because I think that will
Yeah, I feel that would hamper us. I can't lie. Has he
That's-
definitely not been ruled out then, Turk?
No,
Is
no.
he
Today Arteta come out. I don't know if you lot have heard the recent quotes. He said Saka's trained now, but we'll see the situation. He said Timber's trained now. We'll see the situation, and he said Calafiori, I'm not going to rule him out yet. So that was the three things he said.
Okay.
But
Calafiori's out, but the
so
other two
Calafiori will
play,
be out if he ain't trained. But Saka and Timber, for me, play. This is a big must win for us. So I think they have to play.
But
Is it
on that
so much
Turkish
of
though,
sorry, is it so much of a must win with on the 9th game that if they come in and they risk getting injured further, that it could go on to hamper your season?
that's what I was gonna say. What if they get injured?
Bro, we can't go 7 points behind you lot now. I'll be real.
I hear that. It's the Timber one though, more than anything, because of the injury he had last year and him picking up them little niggles. Do you think Arteta's ready to risk him so early in the season? Even though I know what you're saying, because you don't want to potentially.
It surprised me already with Timber though, because Timber's come back from the ACL, and at the start of the season he was put left back. Like we had everyone available.
Yeah,
Calafiori,
I remember. Yeah,
he started and he started and he started. Then he went right back, and when Ben White was out, he's been relied upon a lot more than I thought he would off the back of an ACL already. So I think if there's a chance he's available, he's probably our best one-on-one defender. He's the most aggressive fullback we have, I'd say, in the tackle. So I think even 70%, 80%, I think we take the risk. Listen, always Lewis Skelly. And Lewis Skelly is the unknown, even though I like him and you lot probably haven't seen much of him. Even I haven't seen much of him. But from what I see, he's a mature boy. He wants the ball. He knows how to invert well. He knows how to watch his back. He come up when Calafiori got injured in midweek. He came off the bench. We had Kivior and we had Zinchenko. Lewis Skelly came off the bench.
What about Kivior though?
Bro, there's no listen. I just said it. Calafiori got injured and Lewis Skelly came on in midweek. That means to me that Zinni's not an option and Kivior's not an option for left back anyway. Maybe Kivior goes right centre back.
Kivior made the mistake the other day, didn't he? And then he got taken off after if I'm not mistaken, the Bournemouth game, innit?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We're going. To be fair, for us, we would have said. I don't know if you guys would have agreed. I would have said our left back would have been Costas, but I think our left backs haven't been good enough where we can sit there and really, So
I would have gone Calafiori if everybody had been fit from form this season, because I do think he's performed better than Robertson and Tsimikas this season.
Yeah.
All right, pivot positions now. I think one's a certain.
One is a certain, fam.
Do you agree, Turkish?
Yeah, Gravenberch, one of the players, if not your player of the season so far.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put Grav there.
So this is where I think things are going to start getting interesting, though.
All right, so
can I just say something quickly? I think that because we got the formation as a 4-2-3-1, should we maybe discuss that more, because Arsenal play 4-3-3?
We did, but we can kind of vary it between the two.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest Partey goes in next to Gravenberch.
Wow. No, wait. So, are you saying you think Partey's been better than Rice this season then?
Yeah, 100%.
For real?
Yeah, 100%. I think even if you just take the last game as an example, Rice had a good game, but Partey moves to right back at half time, and our midfield struggled in that second half.
First 4 games of the season, though, bro. Partey weren't good at all in the first 4 games.
No, Partey was good, man. Partey was good. Trust me.
I don't know, bro. I was watching a man getting ran past like he was Flacco.
Last 4 games of last season, he was iffy. This season, he started surprisingly well. Listen, I'm not saying it's prime Partey, but it's efficient, it's smooth, it's leadership Partey. I think he's been our best midfielder this season.
Raw. I'm really shocked.
All right, so
sorry, Matt. Really sorry to cut you. So Turkish, can I ask? So say, for example, everyone's fitting on form. Let's say Odegaard's available. Do you think Arteta will go to a pivot of Partey and Rice with Marino as a backup and then Odegaard in the 10, or do you still think he'll persist with the 4-3-3 formation? Because I think Odegaard for me is one of the best 10s in world football, let alone just the league. So it's like, for me, it's a shoo-in, surely.
I think it all depends on who comes back, Callum. Because I suggested Declan Rice right centre back. If Timber's not back, I think Declan Rice should go right centre back.
I heard a few people say this.
Yeah.
And then you can play Marino, Partey in the double pivot in front, or just the 8 and the 6, and then you can put Trossard back in at 10 or whatever. So it all depends.
I would like
Timber's injury is the key for me in terms of the shape of the midfield and defense and who plays. If Timber's fit, we can work it out nicely. If he's not, we've got a big problem where Rice centre back is a reality.
Yeah. All right, so I've got a rebuttal. I think this is to be the first time we're really gonna probably argue about, because I think McAllister has been immense this season, and I think that pivot for us has been what's allowed us to do what we're able to do in our build-up play. I think McAllister, he may not have shone as much as Gravenberch, because Gravenberch has literally been like Turkish has said, like our best player alongside maybe Virgil van Dijk this season. But McAllister is one hell of a player, and the level hasn't dropped off from last season. And McAllister was kind of like the Gravenberch of last season, and I think he's continued that form. So this is where it gets techie, because I hear what Turkish is saying about Thomas Partey, because he has been integral, but I can't sit here and say McAllister hasn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
I like McAllister. When you signed him, I was vexed. The fee, everything, the profile, like it didn't make sense why we didn't entertain it. But I'm thinking a bit more forward here, because we've mentioned Odegaard's been out most of the season, and in my opinion, Shabazz like we're not putting a man in for running off the ball at number 10. So
we won't speak about him, bro.
I think really Partey, Gravenberch, and McAllister midfield is probably, in terms of the best midfielders across the two teams this season, I'd say McAllister goes in at number 10. I know it's not ideal, it's not his position or whatever, but he's the closest to that in terms of everyone else. Or I'm looking at it like if McAllister goes in next to Gravenberch, which is fair, I get your points and the partnership and so on. Bro, we're struggling in the 10, and
I agree.
You might as well leave that open then, because
or change the formation for real. All right then.
So is it Partey and Mac then? Because let's be real, we've got no horse in the race for any other 10s.
That makes sense, innit? All right, cool. I'm cool with that.
And we could technically call it a 4-3-3 and it would work. I mean, McAllister can play 10 anyway. He just
should be playing 10
for us.
I think he should be playing 10 for Liverpool Football Club.
He might play there against Arsenal. You never know, bro.
I'd be over the moon if he did. All right. Starboy versus Egyptian King now. Right.
I know combined 11 for Arsenal fans. I know this is the part that gets so long, because even when you try your hardest to put him in, even the most diehard Arsenal fans are like, no, well, Salah obviously goes on the right instead. You know what I mean? So this must be kind of painful still, this bit.
It's legend tax, isn't it? We said the same with Van Dijk, isn't it? I mean,
right. Is that what we're going to belittle it to? Yeah?
That's not talking.
I get it. I hear it. But I'll do the same thing. But Drift, you lot have to admit, though, season on season, for you lot, the argument is getting to a point where it's like, you maybe you have this one and then it's like, it's close.
He's getting closer. He's definitely getting closer, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. You know what I mean? Saka's still in the 10-meter pool. You know what I mean?
That is hard.
And you know what it is?
Wow.
That is hard. That is so... Turkish, I'm going to be real with you, yeah? If we didn't have Salah and I could pick any other right winger in the league, it's either Saka or Neto. But I think Saka's. So this is where I think you guys, as when I say you guys, I'm talking about the overall fan base, have hindered Saka almost, because you put him on such a pedestal. I think rival fans downplay how good he actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think that's what the issue is. Like, Saka for me is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
but because he's put in the conversations as generational, world class, and in conversation with Salah and all these, like, I think rival fans see that and they almost go the opposite direction now and just cuss him at every available chance and downplay what he actually does and his achievements so far. So he's quality, in my opinion.
Saka's cold, bro. Let's keep it a buck. He's cold.
He's the measuring stick for every young English player now that bags a nice goal or a hat trick or has 3 good games in a row. Is he as good as Saka? Is he better? We've seen him go through. Bro, 2-3 years ago it was Greenwood or Saka. Then it was Foden or Saka. Now it's Palmer or Saka. I mean, how long is this going to go on for? And I'm not saying that Foden, Palmer, and them man ain't good players. Of course they are. But when Saka's the one name that keeps on getting mentioned, I take that with some pride. I don't tend to argue too much about it. I say, go compare them all you want. They're actually very different players. But I know you're using Saka because you like Saka as much as whoever it is making that argument. Saka's our star boy, head down, humble, gets the job done, efficient. And this season, because we haven't been our free-flowing attacking selves, he has been more important than ever because he is the most efficient in our attack. He is the one that could be quiet for 88 minutes, but in the 3 minutes he's alive, or he gets 2 assists or a goal and an assist. So Saka, if this was my channel, best believe I'm putting Saka in there, and I ain't having it. But Salah's the one thing we lack is a Salah, a killer. You give that guy a sniff, you give him an opportunity. If it's a final, if he knows what's like, he is the type of character footballer to, just elevate you. And we've seen it with Liverpool. So we need we need our own Mo Salah in another position because we were sorted on the right. Like we need, again, this argument is, and I'm not going to do it for this one. If we're picking the 2 best wingers across 2, it's Saka and Salah, but neither of them are on the left. So listen,
I appreciate you saying that, Turkish. I do appreciate you saying that because a lot of Arsenal fans I've seen in combined 11s, they try doing that, and I'm like, it's not fit. So I appreciate that.
Salah's a legend, man. I'm not. It's not just legend tax. That was a little banter. He got 5 goals, 5 assists this season.
Yeah, I think so in the league.
Man.
I think
Like
7.
A year and a half ago, this guy don't pass. He's a problem. Last season, it's his assist numbers up, and this season they're up. They're up again. So it's he's getting older.
Himself, Turks. That's what he's doing. He's actually reinventing himself. Yeah. I think he's going to be playing 10 next season. He's going to reinvent himself again.
That'd be interesting. He's got the attributes too.
Left-hand side of the attack.
Diaz, isn't it?
Man, straight away, Diaz. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on your left-hand side? Because Martinelli hasn't really held it down. Trossard doesn't seem like he's really fancied by the manager on a long-term basis or even for a stretch of games. Do you have to? Sterling's obviously come in, not really hit the ground running either. Do you think that's a position you've got to really look at in the summer or even in January and say, like, we've got to get someone in who's either world class or just a level below?
Bro, we're only like 8 weeks off the window just gone. So rather than look forward, I'm still looking back and asking why. I'm asking why, because we all wanted a striker. All right, Sesko signed a new contract. Was he the one? Okay, let's move to left wing then, because as much as I've liked Martinelli, he had a great 22-23. I gave him player of the season in the last 8 games when everyone capitulated. He was the one scoring goals, standing up, working, fighting. So all the credit in the world. 15, 16 goal season in the Premier League, quality. The next step up for him and Saka was 20 goal seasons or close enough. Saka kicked on, didn't quite get 20. Martinelli ended up with 5 or 6 goals. But listen, albeit one blip season, I'll give it to you. Still a young man. This season, I expected a bit more competition on that side to, light a fire under Martinelli a little. Instead, we've kind of gone in bland again. Listen, I like Trossard. He's a great 12th man. It doesn't mean he's a great starting 11 player. It's very different. Like,
very good impact player.
Like, no disrespect, because I keep on saying this. Legends can be born off the bench too. Like, look at Ole at United, for example. For us in particular, I'll use Sylvain Wiltord as the example. I love Wiltord. I've got a shirt with Wiltord's name at the back, but he was a 12th man, he was a rotation option. And he wasn't someone that any of us really wanted to see start in 20 games in a season. So I think we've left ourselves short. Martinelli has been the best of a bad bunch on the left this season. I think work rate rise. You can't deny him. He's one of the hardest working wingers. But I'm like Roy Keane. You know, you're a football. You work hard. It's part of the furniture. Like I'm not gonna run away and give. You know, at modern day football now, I hate it because a guy could have a shit 89 minutes, score one goal, and be deemed 10 out of 10. Or on the flip side, they they look at it like this and try and dismiss it as whatever. You know, for modern day football, the way the opinions are, swayed game to game and metric to metric. If someone doesn't score, he worked hard though. If someone does score, he was amazing. It's just, for me, working hard is part and parcel of the game, and he does it very well. But neither him or Trossard has, and Sterling. I mean, I don't know if you lot saw my opinions of Sterling on deadline day, but they wasn't nice to say the least.
I saw your face when Carl mentioned his name, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and then the day after you wake up and you think to yourself, all right, we got him now. What's the best case scenario? The best case scenario is he looks at the left-hand side and says, Martinelli ain't been doing it, Trossard ain't been doing it. That's the position that, I scored my 20-goal season and I got these numbers in. I'm going to make that position my own. He makes a nice little video, come back. You all doubted me. Well, I mean, game week 9. So I don't know. I don't know what needs to be done. Is it a start against Liverpool and maybe he does that? But we also had Man City recently, and yeah, we didn't even rely on him. So I don't even think that'll light a fire. So all in all, that's not taking nothing away from Diaz, who I think has been good. I'm not saying that by default because we've been so iffy on the left side. Diaz actually deserves it. I think he's been. Well, at times your best winger. Well, you lot talk to me because Diaz early on, obviously Salah still got the numbers there and whatnot, but Diaz was the one early on making the noise.
Yeah, Diaz started the season.
The numbers aren't much different, bro. I think it's 5 goals, 3 assists for Diaz. So him and Salah are pretty much identical to a degree in terms of stats. So
yeah, definitely. I think Diaz,
brilliant.
He has been, and he's had 2 braces as well. One against Man United and the other one against. Who was the other one against, Cal?
Trying to remember the game.
Diaz has got 2 braces this season.
I don't think he's got 2
was
braces.
it the
he did, bro, in the Prem
game? Was it Brentford? He got the brace.
Might be Brentford. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Got 2.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Brentford. Yeah,
he's got 2 braces. Yeah.
Bournemouth. Bournemouth.
Yes, sorry, Bournemouth. Bournemouth at home.
Is it Bournemouth?
Bournemouth.
Sorry, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finish for the first one and then tapping for the
Brentford. He had a goal and assist.
Yeah.
I think he's got 5.
5 goals, 1 assist so far this season.
He's
no, I think he's got 3 assists
in the Prem.
Oh, okay.
All right. Matt, do you want to tag out for this one and tag Drifting? This is
I let Drifty fight this one. I'm not gonna lie. I've done a lot of fighting.
I'm a spectator. Hold on. How did I get involved?
This is your guy. It's your boy.
Nah, man, you might have to stand down on this one, man, though, because I don't want to argue too much for Havertz, but come on, like Jota's out,
That's what I'm saying. I think if Jota was available, I would say Jota personally.
Fair.
Based on this season, I still wouldn't,
Yeah, I'd make the argument still that there's an argument that I'd make there for sure. But
to be fair,
without Jota, I don't think there is.
To be fair, if we're talking actually what people have done this season, Havertz is probably had a slightly better start than Jota. If I'm being honest, I still think Jota's better, but Havertz had a better start to the season. But that's really only the competition that you could say Havertz has, because as much as I think Núñez has improved, even the last couple of games he's played, he scored in one of them, he hasn't played enough for him to be considered. And it's the same thing, like I said, about Kelleher and Raya. Even though I do think Kai Havertz, though, has proved a lot of people wrong. Mm-hmm. It's kind of mad because I think Kai Havertz, when he was signed for Arsenal, everyone was like, what kind of signing is this? Arsenal getting Kai Havertz? And I'll be real Turkish. I don't know how you feel about him now, but I'm sure you're probably sitting there thinking, do you know what? He's actually done all right.
He has, bro, but I got a caveat with highest paid player at the club. And I don't know why people... bro, comment section sometimes, and the rhetoric. Every time I mention highest paid player, the argument back is, but why does that mean you expect the most out of him? I don't know how to answer that question, because surely that's fucking common sense. Pardon my language. Surely that's common sense. If you're the highest paid player, I expect output. You know, whatever
Agreed.
the highest paid player could be a defender. So I'm not just saying goals here. I'm expecting
yeah.
output. You are the highest paid player, but listen, I'm not gonna get onto him right now. I've been impressed for what I expected for sure. Because when we signed him, I'm like, what are we doing? He's improved. He's risen above my expectation of him. But now I'm bringing in that whole your confidence is up. You found your role. You are relied upon. You are trusted. Now it's time to deliver for what you came in for. We bought 100 million Rice and we bought in a highest paid player in Kai Havertz. Those two players, when you take into account the summer we just had making net profit, those two players were the ones to take us over the line. It didn't happen last season. It has to happen this season. Rice hasn't started great. Havertz has probably started the better, but equally they need to deliver more. And I think Havertz has started well. 4 goals in 8 games is okay.
Yeah.
But it's not great. And
16-12 as well in overall. So that's do you know what I mean? That's not too shabby either.
Yeah, it's not. But when you're dealing with City and Liverpool, we need to make sure we get, like we can't be having Bournemouth games like that. Not being able to get a chance for the world because Saka and Odegaard are out. I'm sorry, we still got 100 million man out there. We still got a couple 275, 250k players. Like, what are you man doing? Or is it a case that it's just these two that unlock everyone else on this pitch?
Facts.
Yeah.
So, Drift, you good with Havertz starting ahead of Nunes?
Don't ask him, is he good, man?
Yeah. You can't. I mean, yeah, I'm not good with it, but I can't argue with it. I can't argue. You know what? I still don't rate Havertz the way maybe people will, but I do give credit for coming through a bad patch of form and being put down. Arteta's got to get a little bit of credit, I guess, for finding a way to not waste the money because he was bought as an 8. And that just weren't going to work. But he found a way to do what was failing at Chelsea, to be fair to Arteta. Like, he tried to do the false 9 thing at Chelsea and it failed. That's why everyone laughed when Arsenal started doing it. It was like, oh my God, they're literally going to copy what Chelsea did. But to be fair to Arteta, he's got the better out of Havertz. And I'd arguably say Havertz might have been Arsenal's best player to this point. Like, if I'm going through all of Arsenal's performance this season, I know Raya's been good.
I'd say
but like Havertz has been pretty critical to what Arsenal have done this season. So is there not an argument he's definitely top 3 Arsenal performers this season?
Yeah, for me, Raya, Saka, Timber definitely will make up the top 3. But I'm not saying he's not.
You put Timber above Havertz?
Yeah, Timber's been good.
Yeah, bro, Timber's been. I mean, I hope he starts on Sunday and you can see for yourself, bro. The guy's a unit. Like, he's a small unit. It's mad. Like, I just don't. Like, the way he moves is different. Like, yeah, he's been very good for us this season.
Yeah,
Havertz has been good. Don't get twisted. I'd say top 5.
Agreed. Right, I'm gonna just run through the combined 11 from top to bottom. So in goal, David Raya, Trent, Ibu, Virgil, and Timber at left back. Gravenberch and Partey in the pivot positions. Salah, McAllister, and Diaz in the 3 behind Kai Havertz. I don't think that was as bad as we thought it would be, no?
Yeah, I'll be real. Yeah, there wasn't much.
Right. That was blessed.
Yeah, wasn't much in it, to be fair.
I still want the chat. I want the chat to let me know about Gabriel, though. Like,
yeah.
You know, I think maybe
that's fair. That's fair.
Apart from that, I stand down on the rest. We're good.
I'm looking at the weekend though, and I am thinking to myself, if I was an Arsenal fan, how would I feel? So I know, like you were saying, Turkish is a must-win because I do believe that a draw for Liverpool is way better than Arsenal.
Yeah.
In this situation, I would be looking at you lot know, maybe because I'm pessimistic. I'm looking at the situation, and if our key fullback and our key winger was like even 80%, I'd be like, but what if he gets injured and he misses Chelsea away, Newcastle away? You know, like, I would start worrying about that. So I don't know if any Arsenal fans slightly have that paranoia of like, because I don't know if you guys know, but the news is broken today. Trent's actually carrying a knock, and that's why he's been coming off in games early. He came back with a muscular problem from international duty. That's why he didn't train before the Chelsea game. They tried to like style it. So even that, I'm looking and I'm like, I know we need Trent and it's Arsenal, but I don't want him missing 4 or 5 games afterwards if we keep aggravating it and we keep playing him. I'm thinking, do we sit Trent down? Because you got to think of the future when you're only 8 games in. Do you know what I mean? You can't be like, forget about this game. And then what if he misses? We did it with Salah. Salah came back last year. too early and then missed
We did
another
with-
6 weeks because he pulled his hamstring again.
We
Coming
did it
back
with Trent
early.
as well last season, Drift. We did it with Trent as well.
Yeah,
last
yeah,
season.
we did it. Yeah, for real, we did it with both of them. So I'm looking
Mhm.
at this and I'm like, are Arsenal fans a little worried with Saka and Timber if you do that?
Yeah, yeah. But we have to, bro. We have to take the risk. I mean, you can't control the future regardless of what decision you make now. Like, against Bournemouth, maybe Saka could have played, but we said to ourselves, no, we'll save him for Liverpool. And look what happened against Bournemouth. So sometimes you make those decisions, and we might save Saka for Newcastle, lose to Liverpool, and then draw to Newcastle. So really, I don't like
I hear that. I hear that.
forecasting it too much. I just think this game here, we can't afford to go 7 points behind. You are right. If we draw the game, it's not good for us. Listen, the gap would still be 4. It could be 5 to City because they should win against Southampton at home. But then you think about Aston Villa and the other ones winning games and whatnot. It doesn't read well. And Newcastle, Chelsea are not easy games. I'm not looking at those games as an easy 6 points after Liverpool. They're going to be difficult in their own right. Yeah, the way we're playing as well. So I think 70% is the number for me. If Timber or Saka 70%, I think in this game we have to try. That first 20 minutes of this game is vital. In the first 20 minutes, if you nullify us, if we're failing to create chances, it's gonna quieten the crowd down. And then
100.
the rest is
and you lot always start fast. Every game I've watched of Arsenal this season, you apart from Bournemouth, you start fast and you normally win because you get a good head start in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So you
But we're not
definitely
clinical, man. We'll nick the ball in the final third. All it will be is a couple passes, and you should be getting a shot on goal, and we never get a shot on goal, bro.
Yeah.
So that's our problem, our clinicalness in attack.
I hear it. Well, people, you know what to do now. Head to the comment section and let us know if you agree or disagree and who you would change in this combined 11. Turks, before you go though, bro, we've got to say a massive thank you. And please tell the people where they can follow you and support you as well, please, bro.
No, love, bro. Thank you for having me on, man. Turkish LDN's my channel. I am active on there, looking to be more active soon enough, people. But the Big Six is the baby. So yeah, go subscribe to the Big Six, Turkish LDN. Hit the like button here. Big up Kopish as always, man.
Big up. The link to Turkish's channels will be in the title and the description as well, guys. So you guys know what to do. Matt Drift, obviously, will be back on Sunday for the big game. Turkish, just before we let you go, score prediction.
2-1 Arsenal.
Okay. Fair dues. Matt, your score prediction. We have not heard yours yet.
3-1.
Oh yeah, we haven't, have we?
Yeah, we haven't.
3-1.
Wow. Wow, you've been going to the gym, yeah? Working on
I'm just that's going to be the scoreline, bro.
No,
I just think, do you know what it is? I think if
you need me to spot you, are you mad, bro?
no, I
got a bar.
do you know what it is? I think because of the players that they potentially have missing and players not being 100%, I'm looking at this game thinking we have to capitalize, and I think we will. I think it's a totally different game if Saliba, Odegaard, I know Timbers fits. That's a different game. I'm actually going into that game thinking I think we can hopefully we can get a draw. But the landscape has changed. This is football, innit? Injuries play a big part in the season. And I'm looking at this now thinking they are a lot worse than what they were at the start of the season. And I'm thinking Liverpool know this. Slot will know this. And he will know what to do. So I'm confident in 3-1. But I can also
You're going to give
2-1.
Arsenal the ball. That's what I think we're going to do. We're going to give Arsenal the ball.
Yeah, I'm confident in the 3-1, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's still a 2-1. But I think 3-1 though. 3-1.
Fairs.
Yeah.
Well, people, you know what to do now. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. As I said, we'll be back on Sunday on Big Up for the live match watch along, and then we'll be straight back on YouTube. Turkish, thank you again, bro. Really appreciate you. Matt Drift, obviously, it's been a good one. Until we see you again, people, stay safe, stay blessed. We are Kopish around, people. Take care.
Peace.